All right, guys, we're going to solve quadratics by factoring. If you remember from yesterday, were given problems like this, then you had to do the X game, where your C went to the top, your middle or your B went to the bottom. You look at factors of 10. I know 5 and 2, so it's 5 and 2. Write it out as x plus 5, x plus 2, and then remember, they're equal to 0. We got an equals to in this case now. All right, and then remember, you do x plus 5 is equal to 0, x plus 2 is equal to 0. Okay, and now you might have gotten to the point yesterday when working with this assignment that you noticed, okay, they always become their opposites. Because if I do minus 5 here, x becomes the negative 5, right? Then here I'm going to say I know x is going to become negative 2, because when I minus 2, and it kind of I saved myself a step if I recognize that x is going to be that opposite. Okay, and remember, then you're going to write it as the negative 2 or the negative 3. Okay, it could be either or. Okay. All right, you're already looking and seeing, wait a minute, what is she doing to me now? Okay, it's not equal to 0, so that means we've got to do something else, don't we? Okay, we want this to be 0 here on the end. So how can I make it be 0? Well, I need to move this negative 3. So to get rid of it on this side, I could add it, okay? Now, I have to add it to its like term. I can't add the 3 to the x. I can't add the 3 to the 9x. Okay, I've got to add it with its like term. This doesn't have a variable on it, so I got to add it to the 15. So add it on to that 15. So now it becomes 2x, or 2 squared, sorry, plus 9x plus 18. And it's now equal to 0. So now it's set up. Back to, going to play with the x. Okay, so I'm going to put the top number, which is C. 18, the middle number, which is my B at the bottom. Look for those terms that when I multiply them, I can get that. And of course, we all recognize that this is, of course, 2 and 9, but that I cannot get a 9 from anyway, because 1's 9. 1 and 18 won't work. Oh, wait. We have 3 and 6. Okay, because 3 times 6 is 18, and 3 plus 6 works. So it's going to be 3 and 6. Okay, so once again, we're going to go x plus 3 equals 0. And then don't need the parentheses. I'm not sure why I wrote it other than I'm used to doing that with this. X plus 6 is 0. Okay, and just so you know, if you do this, I'm not going to mark you wrong. Okay. All right, so minus 3, minus 3. So x is equal to a negative 3. And over here, it's negative 6, negative 6. And then it's negative 6. Okay, so this one's either going to be the negative 3 or the negative 6. Pretty easy. Okay, so let's do another one. Okay, once again, I need this on the outside to be 0 for this to work. So now there's not a positive there, but it is positive. So to get rid of it, I got to subtract it. Subtract it here again, like terms. Doesn't have a variable on it like an n or an n squared, so it can't be with those. So n squared is the same, minus 10n. Now it's 28 minus 7, so it's going to be plus 21 instead, and it's equal to 0. Okay? Now once again, play the x game. C goes on top. The middle, which is the B, goes in here. Do not forget your negative symbol with that. That makes a big difference, guys. All right, so terms I already know. 1 and 21, not going to work. And I know 7 times 3. 7 plus 3 would give me a 10, so I know it's a 7. I know it's a 3. Now I'm looking, oh, this is negative. That's positive. Oh, they're both going to have to be negative. Okay? So, because a negative times negative gives me a positive. Negative 7 minus 3 gives me a negative 10. Okay? So it's n minus 7, n minus 3, and it's equal to 0. Okay? Once again, pull them out, equal them to 0. So it's going to be adding a 7, so n is equal to a 7. This is going to be adding a 3. So that means this one is 3. So n is going to be 7 or 3. Okay, let's look at one more. Okay, x squared minus 2x minus 10. In this case now I've got a minus 7. So to get rid of that, I'm going to add 7. No variable next to it, so it's going to go with the 10. So it's going to become a plus 7. So x squared stays the same, minus 2x stayed the same, so 10, negative 10 plus 7 makes it a negative 3, and this is going to be zeroed out. Okay, remember to write that 0 in here, guys. That's the whole point of this, okay? All right, so let's look. Do our x. The negative 3 goes on top, the negative 2. Well, 3 is a prime number, so the only factors it has is 3 and 1. So it's got to be 3 and 1. I'll make the 3 negative since this is negative. So this is negative 3 plus 1 will give me a negative 2. Negative 3 times positive 1 gives me negative 3. Okay, so then write it out. So x minus 3, x plus 1 equals 0. Okay, so once again, x minus 3 equals 0. X plus 1 equals 0. Now here, because we've gone through so many steps, I realize this is going to be opposite. So since it's a negative 3, it's going to come out a positive 3. And since this is positive 1, when I get rid of it, it'll be minus 1, minus 1. So it's a negative 1. So I can kind of save a little bit of steps here. Okay, guys? Any questions on the assignment, please ask.